Let's talk about psychic abilities, what they are, and how to tell if you are predominantly more clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, and how you can actually start working with that. So psychic abilities is your ability to perceive, sense, feel, know outside of the normal senses, the five senses, right? So, with your eyes, you're seeing this reality. With your hands, you're feeling, I can feel this desk. I can feel this microphone. We're talking about that beyond the actual physical senses into the subtle realms. Everyone knows clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is connected to the third eye chakra. It's your ability to perceive and see. It's also the ability to have foresight, the ability to see timelines, feel into seeing. We're going to go more into it. We have clairsentient, which is I just feel that. This is really connected to that sense of intuition you hear about, that I just feel. Okay. And I'm going to actually clarify what's the difference between I feel versus I actually feel, because then we're kind of going more into an empathic nature there. There is clairaudience, your ability to hear spirit. This is the one that confuses people so much. How do you know if you're clairaudient? How do you know if it's just your own thoughts? I'm a dominant clairvoyant and clairaudient person. But at first I used to say, clairaudience is my worst ability because I didn't know how to trust and understand what is spirit versus what is me. So we'll go into clairaudience. Clairtangency, that is your ability to feel energy, typically with your hands. So the ability to, this is really when we work with a lot of healers who feel energy with their hands. You hold a crystal, you feel energy. You touch something, you feel energy. You move your hands and you feel like you're moving energy. The two other ones that I want to discuss, and there's actually so many more, is the clairgustance, the ability to taste energy. This is very interesting. This comes in a lot of times for me in mediumship. And then clairalience, which is your ability to smell. This comes in as well with mediumship. It's just a great way that spirit utilizes our senses to, like, think of smell. Smell is such it takes you, and the fragrance takes you back to portals in time. So they utilize that. If your mom always wore Chanel, or your dad always had that tobacco leathery smell, or he smoked cigars, or there was always this certain kind of fragrance in the air that you can connect to a loved one, that's beautiful for mediumship. So let's go first into clairvoyance, the one that everyone knows, the one that everyone wants, the one that is actually the least reliable, I promise you. But at first it feels like the most reliable. So what I help people do, intuitives do, is how to lean out of just wanting their clairvoyance and trust their other abilities, so that they don't give one note readings where it's not, I'm seeing an elephant holding a green satchel. Do you like elephants? That is a way to interpret the energy, but actually clairvoyance is, it shifts a lot. It doesn't give you a full message. It gives you a sound bite. Okay. So clairvoyance is your ability to perceive and or see outside of the physical reality. There are very few people, let me be very clear, the condition in which they can't see at all. A lot of people say they can't see, and then I work with them in a one-on-one spirit connector session, and then they're absolutely seeing. So a lot of times we'll like to say that because it feels better to say I don't got it than to say I don't understand how to connect into it. Okay. So clairvoyance with your eyes closed or open is your ability to perceive and or see. Now, I did also say that clairvoyance is your ability to see into timelines. This does anchor a little bit into seership, which is really more of a reading of frequencies, and that's not something that I'm going to be talking about right now. But clairvoyance is the ability to perceive or have foresight. Okay. A lot of people struggle with their clairvoyance when they are unable to see their future. They're unable to see where they're going. And I'm not meaning literally, because often we're not able to literally see our future. We get hints, we get suggestions, we get symbols, we get feelings. But when you have a sense of, I'm in a situation in my life and literally like my life feels like it's falling apart, maybe it's an ending of a relationship or whatever it is, typically our clairvoyance is what you would say is blocked. But there is no actual blocking that's happening. It's just in that moment, we have this inability to see where life will take us. And so that can also affect your clairvoyance. If you hear people saying, like, I want to build this retreat and I want to build this home, and you're like, oh, I can see what you're saying. I can see what that would look like. That's utilizing your clairvoyance. So it's the ability for foresight. Now, clairvoyance is tricky. Okay. It can be symbolic, and it can be actual representations of memories and or actual things that will happen. The way in which you start understanding this more is one, development. Many intuitives aren't developed, meaning they're like, oh, I can start seeing things. Now I'm just going to start giving readings. Beautiful, because you actually do need to do that. You do need to practice. And then through that development, by saying you're a developing medium, intuitive, psychic, whatever it is, you start to just have that sense of judgment of this is a symbol versus this is actually something that's coming through. I teach people how to break down symbols, which is really, really important, because if you see a symbol of an elephant holding a green thing and you're like, do you like elephants? And they're like, I don't know. You're going to be like, oh, okay. I wonder if I'm making that up, or I don't know. Spirit wants you to go ride an elephant. Like, that's sometimes where I see people kind of go with their readings. And what you want to do instead is learn how to ask for another symbol, ask for a deeper meaning, and or then bring up, what do you intuitively feel? So clairvoyance is the ability to, again, see what is not in the physical reality with your mind's eye. Basically, everyone has the ability to do this except for the very, very few. Okay. It's your ability to clairvoyantly feel an impression of an image. You can do that as well. It's like, I feel like the image would be this. That is a special little thing that if you are feeling stuck with your clairvoyance, what do you feel like it would look like? What do you feel like your guardian angel would look like? And allow that to roll. And then your clairvoyance will really open up, because it is very malleable. The thing about clairvoyance as well is it's very affected by fear and limiting beliefs and things that you healed from your upbringing or your culture, that you will be surprised how infiltrated it is into your third eye, into your sense of clairvoyance. And it will create a projection of an image that is rooted in a belief system that you thought that you released. So I want you to understand, clairvoyance, while cool, and it makes you feel good, and it is very, very helpful if you develop it, is not fully reliable without the other senses. Okay. Now let's move on to clairaudience. Clairaudience connected to the throat chakra, minor ear chakras. It's your ability to hear spirit. What that looks like is like songs that play in your head. This is for people who don't know that this is clairaudiently how you receive. Spirit very often will drop songs randomly in your head where you're just like going about your day, and then you hear Aretha Franklin singing in your ear, Let It Be, and you're like, oh, yeah, you feel the energy of it. Like, what is the message of the song? Think of the random songs that pop in. This happens a lot during mediumship as well, which I absolutely love. I'm like, if I hear a song, I almost every time I say it, because at first I'll kind of push it to the side. It's like what you do in the beginning. Like, oh, am I just wanting to sing that song? Now I know everything is a message. Take that away. Everything you receive when you're in a session with someone is a message. It will usually be that person's favorite song, or it'll be on their playlist. It will be something that their mom always played, or it'll be their favorite artist. So messages coming through song is important for both you, and then if you're doing a reading for someone else. Now, clairaudience doesn't sound necessarily like it's someone else, and that's the tricky part. It can. At times, my guides, I can literally hear their energy outside of my ear. I can hear they'll put an accent or they'll speak differently for me. I've asked them, why do you sound different sometimes? And they said, that's just for you to be able to differentiate. It's not because they actually have an accent. They are speaking in the way that makes sense for me and allows me to start differentiating. So you can hear it outside of you, outside of your actual head. That's rarer. It doesn't happen all the time. What most frequently happens is it sounds like messages within your own head. Sometimes it can sound different, but more than anything, it just feels different. This is confusing, and this is why I work with people on connecting into the heart and learning what spirit sounds like versus what your head sounds like, what your thoughts sound like, because there's an energetic frequency to them that is different. Okay. The way it can sound like my own words, but the energy is different. Like, just like this. Okay. This is just popping into my head to say, if I say, I love you. Okay. Listen to that energy. It's like, oh, okay. Or if it's, okay, let me try to act like I'm speaking to someone I love here. I love you. Doesn't that energy feel different? Like, I love you, like, leave me alone, versus I love you. I'm down in my heart here. I'm speaking. Okay. The frequency, that's what I mean. Okay. It doesn't necessarily sound just like that, but the energy is different. Once you learn, this is where self-trust, this is where shadow work, big shadow work energy here, and your throat chakra is needing to be healed and cleared, because it's your ability to trust yourself and or think that you're making things up is all shadowy energy. So learning what those frequencies feel like, and how to drop into the heart and out of judgment is how your clairaudience is going to get better. The way in which you're going to make your clairaudience even stronger is start speaking your truth, just like to everyone, okay? Like, speak it from the heart, but speak your truth. Okay. Not speaking your truth is also a way of which you can say you block. Again, it's not a block. It's the way in which you distort the way your throat chakra and your clairaudience works. So that's the thing that you need to really understand is if you desire to have a better connection with spirit and to channel and do all these things, you better make sure that you're doing it in your day-to-day life. Meaning, I'm not saying go around and tell people spirit has a message for you. Actually, I'm telling you not to do that. I'm telling you that you need to start speaking your own truth. You need to start speaking up. Because what was happening is I was just like listening, spirit tell me what to do, but I wasn't actually speaking up. And my throat chakra always felt like distorted and confused. And once you create that flow of energy of stuff comes in and stuff comes out, I'm not holding on to things. That's where energetic overwhelm with the empath and the intuitive happens, where they're like, I walk through a grocery store and I feel everyone's energy and I know this happened. You're holding on to the energy. And for one, your boundaries need work here, but also you are bringing in and you're holding energy rather than releasing it. Okay, so this is a big difference. So that is clairaudience. Start speaking your truth. It's going to sound like you, but different. It can sound like it's coming from outside of you versus inside of your head. It can have a different tonation, and that's where developmental work come in. Next, we'll move to clairsentience. Clairsentience is connected to the solar plexus, and it's the I feel. Okay. This is not the empath who actually feels energy, like feels the physical pain or feels the emotion. This isn't the extrapath who feels energy on the outside of their body. This is clairsentience. The I just feel, the quantum I just feel. And I always use this example of I just feel like Layla likes banana pudding. You're not actually feeling banana pudding like in your hands and that you're eating it. You might be. That would be clairgustance, which would be amazing. But I just feel like Layla likes Ohio State. I just feel like Layla likes banana pudding. You ain't feeling it. You're just feeling it. It's the way in which you say it. I just feel like, okay? So that's that intuition. I just feel like my mom's going to call today. You didn't see the image. You didn't hear mom. You didn't feel her energy. You just feel like, okay? You just feel like. That's clairsentience. The way in which you know that you're a clairsentience is you speak in feels all the time. I just feel like this. I just feel like you don't like me. I just feel like that. I just feel like you're mad at me. You're probably you're working with your other abilities as well. I'm sure you're feeling empathically their emotions. I'm sure that it's like kicking up your shadow. Like, there's other things working here, but I just feel that is more into just the clairsentience. So understand that although I'm talking about clairaudience, like it's its own thing, I'm talking about clairvoyance like it's its own thing. This is a multidimensional web that's happening through your entire system at all times. We're just kind of like bracketing these off so that we can explain them. The way in which you're going to start working with your clairsentience is by saying what you just feel. I just feel like my husband's going to come home today and say he had a hard day. I just feel like my daughter is going to want to go to the park today. Start claiming what you just feel. I would love if you say it out loud, because the seat of your power, your sense of will, is in your solar plexus and it's connected to the throat chakra. All chakras are connected, but you need to speak your will. You need to speak your truth. You need to magnify it. Okay. You don't need to hold on to it. So we say what we feel. Okay. This creates more magnetism of truth, of intuition, of divine alignment for the things that you're desiring in your life when you start speaking them out. Okay. So the I feelers. Clairtangency is connected typically to more the palm chakras. We can also kind of talk about the heart with this, but it's your ability to feel energy with your hands. Like I said, this is very much connected to healers. It's how we receive information through our physical environment coming into our physical body through our hands. So if you've ever had Reiki or watched healers, they'll kind of move their hands alongside a client, and through the energy, they'll start receiving information. When I first started and I became a Reiki master, I would run my hands over their energetic field and I would get stopped in each chakra. And in those chakras, I would see memories, I would see emotions, I would feel past lives of archetypal energies that are kind of stuck there. And with my hands, then kind of work on clearing the energy. So it's just the ability to receive through your palms, really. If you've ever held a crystal and felt information and or energy or a sense of vibration, a sense of uplifting, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's why you'll see a lot of mediums ask for a personal effect of the person who's passed on. If I hold your grandpa's wallet, then at that time it holds energy and I'm receiving it through my hand. Typically the left hand is the receiving hand and the right hand is the energy we send out. So we would hold it in the left hand. We would receive the energy physically through our hands. That's why if you go into an antique store and you hold certain objects, you can receive a lot of information when you hold them. Now, a lot of people are also empathically picking up the emotion and energy that is connected to the antiques. So not only are you empathically picking up information, you're feeling the energy, emotion, either physically or as an emotion, but you can also pick up actual information. Might look like pictures, all of a sudden come in, a sense of knowing when you actually hold it in your hand. The other psychic ability of clairgustance is your ability to taste energy. This comes through in mediumship readings for me a lot when I all of a sudden taste something. So if I taste like chocolate chip cookies, or I might taste an apple pie. If someone had issues with like their gums or iron issues, my mouth will literally taste like blood. That sometimes can connect in also to when there's been an accident. Clairgustance is the ability to taste energy. Clairalience, this is one of my favorites. It's the ability to smell energy. It happens a lot in mediumship. It's like phantom smells. So when I connect in and I smell smoke, and then usually after that, I'll just get a feeling that they were a smoker, and then I'll see an image of smoking. And then at that point, then I have a complete package to say, I feel like grandpa was a smoker. If I smell a very specific perfume, I'll describe the perfume. And then after I describe the perfume, maybe it's like Chanel, something that's really iconic. I might then also see an image of you spraying the perfume and smelling it. And so that's another way in which spirit will give me a feeling of a smell. I'll be able to say, I feel like she wore this perfume. And then usually spirit will, for me, because I'm a clairvoyant, will show me that image to really create a really beautiful package of information to say, not only do I know that grandma used to smell like this, but also that you've been spraying it on her old scarf and you've been wearing it. And so that's a really cool way of which clairalience can kind of come back through it. Sometimes as well, based on certain diseases, you can pick up certain smells. So if I connect in with someone and I smell a moldy smell, I've learned how to connect that into specific bodily things that are happening with the person and or manner of passing for mediumship. So these are all ways when we're talking about clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, clairtangency, clairalience, clairgustance, in which we are receiving energetic information on the subtle fields that isn't in our physical reality that you can choose to develop. What it does is it creates this really beautiful, well-rounded story of whatever it is energetically that you're wanting to bring through. An intuitive is someone who is just receiving information and messages. They're just intuitively feeling things. I just feel this, I feel that. A psychic, I want you to think of being more precise. An intuitive is a doctor. I want you to think of a psychic as being like a specialist. So your clairvoyance is a cardiac surgeon. Your clairaudience is an ENT. So this is where we're breaking it down into specialties. They're all doctors. They all have abilities that work within all of these fields, but psychic is a little more precise. We're going and using our clairvoyance to see something while intuitively information is just falling through us and we just feel called to say something. Are they one and the same? Yes. Are they different? Yes. Don't allow it to confuse you. Using the word intuitive is just a broader spectrum, while a psychic is just more fine-tuned. How are you receiving the information? Oh, I'm getting it through a sense of feeling. And now I'm also seeing. Okay. So the way in which you develop your psychic abilities is 1, meditate. 2, start questioning yourself. Who am I? What do I believe and why? Start getting curious about yourself. How do you stay within the heart? How do you ground your energy? How do you start expanding your energy for clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, start speaking what you feel, start speaking what you're hearing, start speaking what you're seeing, start putting it out into the universe. That doesn't mean that you immediately go and start offering sessions for people or saying this is the ultimate truth, not at all. But what you have to do is you have to start practicing. You have to start saying, I feel this. You say it to yourself, speak it out loud. I feel like this is going to happen, and start seeing what is your accuracy? How can I start really understanding this? Again, meditation is going to be the biggest activator, because what it does is it shuts down your other senses. You close your eyes, you go into this space, you start not feeling connected to the body as much, your eyes are closed, you're not perceiving around you, which allows then what's normally being overrode, those subtle energetic frequencies, to start becoming stronger and more present. Because when we shut one thing down, something else can become louder. That is why it's so much easier, and people have so much experiences when they're going to sleep or just waking up from sleep. You're in a different brainwave state. You have closed your eyes. You're disconnecting from the world. That's why spirit feels louder during those moments. It's literally a meditative state in the same way. And that's what meditation can do. If you're interested in learning more about how to do all of this, psychic abilities, connecting into your guides, meditation, energy balancing, you can look for my Awaken course. It's a self-led course. It's available at any time. I will give you a special discount down below, or reach out for a spirit connector session. Let me know what you primarily think is your main psychic ability. And until next time, stop trying to be spiritual.